Hey everybody, welcome to Big Boys Toys. I'm James. We're out in the showroom today, and today we're going to talk about a car that I haven't ever spoken about. I don't even have a lot of pictures and no video on the car, but it is my second $100,000 928. Let's do this. So my first $100,000 928, this one right here, there it is, right there, Blue 82. I didn't pay $100,000 for it, and I didn't sell it for $100,000, but the last time it sold, it was at auction, it was $95,000. Did a video on it, I'll link it down below so you can find that video easily. A fantastic car, I love that car, the color was perfect. And it drove like a brand new car. When I got it, it had 3,535 miles on it. When I sold it, it had 3,775 miles on it, I think, and I owned it 8 years and put 200 miles on it, I guess. It was fantastic. And the interesting thing, everybody's like, oh, you don't want a car that just sits around. Well, I started the car routinely, so would get it up to operating temperature, but didn't drive it. I'd shift it through the gears, but we didn't go anywhere. It was a fantastic car. AC worked. I mean, it was amazing. And it really showed just how incredible the 928s were when they were brand new. So it was a great car. Now, the car we're gonna talk about today is a 1980 5-speed 928 US model, no sunroof, hell blue metallic, with the tan Porsche interior. It's a really interesting story. I got it from the original owner, and he had passed away. His widow was having a friend help sell the car collection. He had 6 or 8, 10 cars, something like that. There was a guy who was interested in the car, and he found me online somehow. And this was in about 2010, somewhere around 2010. And he said, hey, I'm looking at this car. I'm thinking about getting a 928, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't run, told me about the car. Has 19,986 miles on it. It hasn't run in years. The clutch is stuck to the floor. It needs some cosmetic work and obviously mechanical work. And I told him, I said, it is going to be very expensive to get a car like that back up and running. And I gave him kind of a rundown of it. And he said, okay, well, I'll have to think about it. And I said, that you will be able to find probably cars every bit as nice that actually run and will ultimately cost you a lot less money. And so I guess he did, because he passed on the car. And a couple of years go by, and I get another call from somebody else, and it's about this same car. And at first I was like, man, that car sounds familiar to me. And then I realized which car it was. And so I went out and looked at it, and sure enough, 19,986 miles. Oddly enough, it was a 5-speed car that had 15-inch wheels on it, phone dials, instead of the normal 16s. We always think about the 5-speed cars as always having the 16-inch wheels. But this one was spec'd with 15s and no sunroof. As it turns out, the owner was a real penny pincher when it came to buying his cars. Kind of penny wise and pound foolish, as history has shown, because he bought an E-Type Jaguar, but he didn't buy the 2-seat E-Type Jaguar that's worth $1 zillion. No, he bought the 4-seat that is kind of hunchbacky and not a very pretty car. He bought a 4-seat Ferrari instead of the 2-seat version of the Ferrari, which would have been worth 5 times as much, and would have actually probably been a cheaper car to buy at the beginning, or only marginally more expensive, I guess, which again is why he bought it, because he bought the cheap stuff. It was really funny, and ultimately, obviously, I mean, he didn't care. He bought what he liked, I guess, and he didn't need the money. So anyway, it is what it is. This car had some interesting, by 80, you could get a full leather interior, but he got the Porsche interior, which is cooler, but less expensive. So he penny pinched all the way around. Now, the car had been sitting in his collection for a long time, and I guess because the clutch had gone out for some reason, probably the slave cylinder gave or a hose busted or something, and the clutch pedal was flat to the floor. He had his Ferrari parked behind the 928. They were kind of butt to butt, and the Ferrari was not working right, and it when he tried to start it, sprayed fuel out of the exhaust pipe onto the right rear bumper cover and quarter panel of the 928, and it caught fire. So the back of the car was scorched, not badly, but it definitely needed to be repainted. It didn't have to have any parts replaced, it just needed new paint. I take that back. The tail light lens had to be replaced. That was it. And so I looked the car over and I told the guy, I said that I outlined all the things that this was gonna need and that it was gonna cost a whole lot of money to do, and that so I could only offer him so much money. And they got back to me a little bit later and they took my offer, and I immediately, I had the car shipped to me. I cleaned it up as best I could, and then I sold it to a friend who was gonna do a mechanical restoration of the car and get it back on the road. And then he was gonna keep it for a little bit and then auction it off. And he did that. That's what ended up happening. I got the car. You'll see the pictures here as I saw the car in the storage room that he had it in. That he actually had more of a showroom than I had. I'll show you pictures of it there. I'll show you pictures as I cleaned it up, along with my wife Karis. She helped, and then as Angelo did his work on the car, and he really brought the car up to where it needed to be, not only mechanically but cosmetically. He did a great job with the car, and then he sold it on at auction. And 3 years later, so just a few months ago now, we are in June of 2024, and it's just a few months ago that it sold again for, I believe it was $93,500 or somewhere up there, with fees, $100,000. So I've had the pleasure of owning two $100,000 Porsche 928s, an 80 and an 82, and neither of them did I sell for $100,000. So, day late and dollar short for me. Or in my case, I guess I was a year or two or five early as far as that goes. So anyway, I'm happy that I had the cars, that they were in my possession for a time, and that I got to be a caretaker of a couple of great cars. So anyway, that's the story of a 1985 speed car with just under 20,000 miles on it that went for $100,000 recently, that I once owned. Y'all have a great day. We'll see you soon. Oh, of course, as always, down below, hit the like button, subscribe, make a comment, let me know how you like these videos. We've got another one coming soon, but it's gonna be a totally different kind of video. It's gonna be an unboxing video. It's gonna be a guitar unboxing video. So if you like guitars, if you're a guitar player, stay tuned for that one. And then the next 928 video will be on one of my cars that I've restored, probably my Euro 85 car. I need to do a video on the Euro 85 car. Brought that one back to life quite a few years ago. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon.